oh, you're complaining, blah, blah, blah. And you just listen to them. You turn the other cheek. Okay? And when they finish, you just calmly say to them, right, by your attitude and by your words, you are telling me that I should not respect you. I'm not disrespecting you. You are telling me not to respect you. And I tell you something, they sit up. You're going to be very wise, you see, with these people. They're always turning the tables. Oh, you say this, that, and you just sit back. As we say, turn the other cheek. And carry on, go on. I'm listening. Right, what you just said, you are, again, telling me I am not to respect you, and therefore, how can I respect you if you're telling me that you are not, by the very words you've used, by the very things you've done, that you are not to be respected? I am only pointing out what you're telling me. I'll just give you another example. Okay? You've got this abomination in the corner of the eye. On me. Television. Okay? Satan's vision. It's your choice, your life. Okay. Now, breaking news comes on. Okay? There's been an incident. Okay? We had one recently in Manchester. Okay? Stabbing incident. Now, what's the first thing you do? You listen to the narrator. And you believe the story through the narrator. But show me the truth. Does the narration fit the scene? See, again, we have to sit back. We've not got to honour the narrator. In other words, we've not got to sell our soul out to the narrator. But we've got a question. Examine all things to see if they be of God. Examine, 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 examine. Always with this world, examination. Because this is a deceitful world. And we are apt to be drawn in to this enchanted world, this enchanted land. Like the pilgrim in Pilgrim's Progress. And then he came out. And he was shocked. He was absolutely shocked just how a soul can be deceived. Now, one of the questions I asked of the footage, and you're always asking questions of the footage, not the narrator comes second, the footage. There's a fella there on the ground, right? And his face, it's not seen, it's blurred out. And his left leg, trouser leg, is up. And he's got what the world would call a white leg. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, the only white people in this world are albinos. Alright, but again, we're contending with the world. And it's come up, set up. He's got a white leg. Okay? In other footage, the man is being led away. His face is uncovered. It's a black face. I've asked people, numerous people, about this. They've been unable to answer how a white person can have a black face or a black person can have a white leg. I answer because it's a staged event. They did it on two separate occasions. They got the man lying there, and then when they've come to do it again, they only could find a dark-toned fella to do it. That's how you get two different toned people in one event. So the event is fake. And those who created it are the ones who are able to tell us why they created it. You know, the world will say to you and me, well, why did they do it? Why are you asking me? I wasn't there in the meeting when this was put together as a fabrication to hoodwink, deceive, lie against the public. All I will say is that it is clear that part of it is to engender terror, to keep terror up. People in terror. Don't let the people live happily. Give them terror. Give them food poisoning, food scares. Huh? Give them global warming, give them CND, give them anything. Swine flu, Victoria flu, French flu, foreign flu, everything flu. Hey? On every hand. The wicked are troubled. Aye, like a troubled sea. Tossed to and fro. Just like the hypocrites behind the pulpits and behind the books and behind the magazines within Christendom, foaming out their shame. Hey? We need to wake up, ladies and gentlemen, because this world is deceitful. And we need, and I say this to myself, we need to keep ourselves unspotted from this world. You know, it is so easy to be beguiled by this world. It has a magnetic quality that draws us in, and it's just how it is. It's the old nature that's been attracted in. But if we've got sufficient of the new nature, we can see this. Sometimes it's so powerful that we have to withdraw once we're in. Okay, it's deceived us and we go, it's got us. I'm coming out of this. But with the world itself, the will goes in and doesn't pull itself out. Doesn't pull itself out. Pardon me. It's a very deceitful world. And it comes through Satan. Satan deceived Eve. Adam wasn't deceived. Oh, he had a clear understanding of everything. But brash as he was, he thought he could get away with it because he wasn't the one that put his hand first towards the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And indeed he didn't go forward, did he? Aye. Oh, he stayed back. Oh. It's the woman that thou created didst give me to eat. Oh, she stood in the pulpit all right. Hey, women's lib. Stood in the pulpit. Preaching to Adam. And Adam then believed he could blame God if everything went wrong, and it went wrong, and he did blame God. He did blame God. We should not have respect to persons. You know, it's got that bad in pseudo-Protestantism, which in fact is not recognised today, pseudo-Protestantism, but it's there, that there are actual people who take to the ministerial office robbers and thieves, robbing the office of minister, who will actually go to a internet site and purchase a doctorate. Oh yeah, these doctorate mills. They'll purchase one. And they will flaunt it before the people, doctor this and doctor that and doctor the other. And as soon as you approach these persons about their doctorate, where do you get it from? They ignore you. Oh yes, doctor this and doctor that, and I'll put a collar on if necessary. You're going to worship me, you're going to call me reverend. Holy and reverend. Not God, me, says the one who does this. Me that stands in the pulpit. Oh, you know, we're all at the end of the day and the beginning of the day the same. Positions in life different, but we're all the same. I'm no better than the greatest theologian that's ever been, and he's no better than me. No better than me. This godless, vile world of Christendom will have it, you know, that the greatest teachers and the greatest soul winners shall have the chiefest seats in heaven. Oh yes. So, oh you sir, you were on the cross, were you, when you were converted? Yeah, you down there. I've got my telescope, because he's so far down the line, the man on the cross who was converted by an act of God, that I have to use a telescope. And it's called a Hubble telescope. He's that far away. That's the attitude today. We're all the same. There's not one of us any different. Who maketh thee to differ? Come on. Who maketh thee to differ? That arrogance, you know. Arrogance isn't of God. Simplicity is of God. Being down to earth is of God. Knowing what you are as being nothing is of God. And that the position you're in is of God. Your life that you have is of God. And when I say you have, I have. I have. Everybody in this world has. And you know, we've entered such a godless age that Christendom and pseudo-Protestantism within Christendom has denied the Lord Jesus Christ and the Father of lights, within whom there is no variableness. The Father of lights, us who are light in the world, but God is the Father also of mankind. And that part is being denied and denied and denied and denied and denied by pseudo-Protestantism. The reign of the Lord Jesus Christ and the Father of glory has been denied. Every creature of every creation that God has created, planets, dust, the lot, is upheld by the hand of the Almighty. The man that goes down the road, and the woman and the child, etc., 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 is upheld by their Creator, our Creator, the Creator. God is the Father of mankind as well as the Father of those whom he hath acted upon to become in eternity, aye, from eternity, to be his children, his special ones. God gives life and breath daily unto those, well, to everything that he has created. It is irreligion, the height of irreligion, to separate God the Creator from his creation. And this is where the likes of pseudo-Protestantism, which is basically Arminianism, which encompasses neo-evangelicalism, the hairy-fairy showmanship, fails. And naturally would fail because it is pseudo. It is a false Protestantism. In that it doesn't understand that the common man, the natural man, the man of this world out here, can be spoken to of God and can be shown things by God. Oh, it's anathema to pseudo-Protestantism to speak that way. You know, for me, I'm reminded of a customs officer in Liverpool. He's aboard this ship and he's searching it with the rest of the customs officers for any contraband. They find nothing. And this officer's going to walk out of this room. Okay? And something tells him, he says, he won't admit God. Something says, speaks to him from the outside, to his understanding. Okay? Something says to him, there's a hidden drawer down here. And you know, you couldn't see it. He went, and sure enough, there was a hidden drawer. And he pulls it out and there's contraband. He says, I can't account for it. He says, something told me there was a drawer down here. And this is normal. People, particularly after or in the midst of wars, become more alive to a spiritual world than they do in times like these. Materialism, material wealth. You see? Because basically it's this, it's the practicalities of life. If there's great material wealth, people will get engrossed in that. If there is no great material wealth and you've got virtually nothing, another world is sensed. Another world is experienced, known. The atmosphere is different. It's the cold atmosphere and reality of life. It's not hidden anymore by materialism. Not blocked out like the sun could be blocked out by the moon. Now we go on, and James goes on to say that we are the ambassadors of the law. We're not antinomians, not like the Arminians. Oh, they're the antinomians. Again, you see, we have to be careful. Not to knee-jerk. But sit back and consider. We're to be considerate people. when the Arminians say, oh, well, you're antinomians and you're against the law, you're against the law, against the law. Yeah, carry on. Carry on. Because the more you speak, the more you condemn yourself. By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So carry on. Show me if you are justified by your words, and I'll show you I am justified by my words and by my actions. Carry on. Right, now then, Mr. Arminian, how did you come in to salvation? To the redemption of the soul? Commitment. So right. Oh, right. Commitment, was it? So you came in by an act of commitment. So no law. I came in by law. So who's the antinomian? Is it not true? Paul to the Galatians said in chapter 3:24, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster. Eh? To bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith. So, you are absent of the law. I am with the law. The law convicts of sin, of righteousness, of judgment to come, and there is mercy at the end of it for those whom God has chosen to be his people. And being his people, we adhere to the very law that convicted us in the first place. You cannot. You won't even preach the law, because you're against the law. All you will say is